All right, if you are looking for a budgeting spreadsheet, I have 10 of them, and I'm gonna walk you through and show you some of the features of each one so you can pick your favorite. There are also links down below in the description where you can download each one of them. So if you're looking for a great budgeting spreadsheet, just hang tight and we're gonna dive right in. All right, so first up on the list is a simple planning budgeting spreadsheet, and this one is my favorite because it's so elaborate in what it does, but it still is actually pretty simple to use. I'll just kind of quickly show you some of the things I like about it. So they do a fantastic job. I mean, it looks great. It's very well organized, and they do a great job of showing you what to do where and what information you need to put in what areas. And they have nice charts and graphs and things like that. And so you have your basic quick budget here, and then you can also budget everything by month. And they have a lot of cool things here where you can just kind of track everything that's been going on and see like an annual view, which I think is just really helpful for getting a kind of big picture of everything. And they also have this comparison tab, which I love as well, because you can see how your spending compares to what your budget is and if you're actually hitting your budget or if you're missing your targets and things like that. All in all, it's just a great budgeting spreadsheet that's super thorough and well designed and well thought out. Now, the downside here is that this one is a free demo. And in order to get the full version, you got to pay about $16. But so if you like this one, you can try out the free demo. Links are down below. You may or may not be able to make your budget work with the free demo. You might need to upgrade to the paid version, but it's still only $16. So if this is something you love, you can just go for that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up is a spreadsheet that I created, and it doesn't have nearly as many features as the previous spreadsheet, but there are a few different things I like about it. And so we set it up so you could just kind of throw in your income and your expenses and just kind of get a quick snapshot of where you need to be and if you're in the ballpark as you're setting up your budget. And so you can just change the amounts here. You can change the frequency to weekly or yearly or whatever, however you want to break that out. And then you can just adjust whatever you have going on here, and all that is going to be reflected over in the pie chart over here. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of a visual of where your money's going and how it's broken out. And so each one of these areas are color coded. So orange is transportation, red is housing, and that way you can just kind of navigate through and see what's what. All right, next up is a spreadsheet made by Neil Rothman. And it's a pretty simple one that he has going on here. I like that there's kind of this main page on front, and that fills in with the information that you fill in on the monthly tabs. So you can see the annual kind of overview of everything that's going on here. And that's kind of nice the way that's laid out. And then on each particular month, you can enter in all your expenses and you can categorize them to whatever category they belong to. So we can, add $50 for kids' clothes because they're spending way too much. And then it will just kind of update all of those different areas. I just kind of like the way it's laid out. Visually, it's not quite as pretty as the previous two, but all that obviously can be changed pretty easily just by modifying these. Next up is a spreadsheet by a friend named Jay Money, and he made this one, and it's super simple what he has going on here. And I also like these a net worth tracker in here. I do wish it was a little bit bigger because a lot of people have more than 6 assets when tracking their net worth, but I just like that it's everything in one place and it's really simple. So you can kind of have your income on here. You can kind of have credit cards and the amount that you owe and just a variety of different things, and it's all in one place. And so I do like that about that. All right, next up is another spreadsheet made by a friend. This is David Welliver from Money Under 30 who created this one. And what I like about this one is that it's laid out monthly, just like one of the other ones we saw, where you can enter your expenses monthly, but you're not entering them individually. You're entering them by day. So it's going to require you to just kind of think through how much you spent on a given day. But, I can look here and maybe I spent $40 on dining today. I gave away $10. And so I spent $50 for the day, and it just knocks out whatever my daily budget is or drops that down by that amount for that day. And so I kind of like the way it's laid out, and then obviously that is feeding back to this front homepage so you can kind of see how things are going there. All right, next up is Enemy of Debts Zero-Based Budgeting Spreadsheet. And this one is super thorough and really cool as well. There's a couple different things that he does in this one that I like a lot. So kind of like Jay Money's, he has a lot of different things on here. And so you have a lot kind of going on, but when you kind of see everything that's there, it's pretty nice. So one of the things I like is just this recommended percentage category. This is something, I get people asking me a lot, like how much should I spend on housing a month? Like what's a good average? And so just having that on here just as a kind of guideline to know if you are kind of, in the ballpark. That's just kind of nice and helpful. And one of the other things I like is within this, so he's got the checkbook register, and this is where you just kind of enter in your expenses or your expenses as you move forward, and you can just kind of see how that's pulling down off of your budget. So one of the things I like is this lump sum payment worksheet where he takes things like, say, car insurance that you only pay every 6 months, and then you can figure that out, the total amount, and you divide that up by whatever this amount number is here, and then you can see the monthly amount that you need to be saving for that. And so it's just kind of a nice thing that's kind of built in that I haven't seen very often with many spreadsheets. All right, next up, this is just pretty much a straight up wedding budget spreadsheet. So if you are planning a wedding, this is what you need. If you're not, this is not what you need. It's pretty much that simple. And it's a really simple spreadsheet. There's just not much to it. They have a paid version as well, but I think probably you can get by on the free version. I don't know why you would need the paid one. All right, next up is a debt snowball or debt reduction spreadsheet. And this one's really pretty simple. Basically, you list off all your debts, and then you can kind of select via this strategy button right here, whether you want to use the avalanche method or the snowball method. And the debt snowball method is where you are paying the smallest remaining balance off first, and then kind of going that approach, whereas the avalanche is paying off the highest interest rate debts first. So anyway, there's a whole big debate on that. You can read about that on our site if you're interested in finding out more about debt snowball versus the avalanche. All in all, it's a pretty cool tool if you're paying off debt to just kind of get a big picture of how long it's going to take and how all your payments are affecting your overall debt payoff process. And they do have a paid version for $10, but I think you can probably get by on the free version as well. And so they have a few different options of how you can download it. And these guys create really good spreadsheets. So it's pretty well designed. And next up is another spreadsheet from Gather Little by Little. And what's unique about this one is that they have different tabs for different spending that you're doing. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way to do it. And so that's kind of the only big difference with this one. Other than that, you just kind of have your planned spending versus your actual, and you have the difference broken out with each category. So all in all, it's pretty simple, but I just thought it was interesting that they broke those categories out on tabs. So that's just the only difference there. All right, next up is Words of Williams budgeting spreadsheet. And this one is pretty simple laid out. There's only 2 tabs really. So you kind of have the breakdown here of just each month and what you're spending for each month. And on this tab, we have a little bit more specific detail about each of the categories. And he also has the recommendations for how much you should spend each month, which I'd like. And next up is a budgeting spreadsheet that I found. I actually don't know who made this one, but it's more or less like a minimalist budgeting spreadsheet, and I really like that about it. So there's just one kind of dashboard area here. It's really simple. See what's going on. And then your monthly income, it's like real simple. You just kind of drop in what you got, and then you have your expenses for the month, and you just kind of enter those in, and then any savings goals and things that you have, you can put that in there as well. And then it just kind of summarizes that for you and puts it on that homepage for you. So it's super simple, but if you're just trying to get a quick comparison of your income and expenses, like this one will get the job done. All right, so links to all of these spreadsheets are down below, as well as a link to this blog post I wrote that has links to all of them and additional ones. So you can check that out if you want. So hopefully one of these spreadsheets will work for you in your personal situation. And if you've created or you know of any other great budgeting spreadsheets that are free, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And if you wouldn't mind letting me know which of these budgeting spreadsheets you are going to try out, just listing the number or the name down below in the comments, because I'm just trying to get a feel for which ones are helping the most people. So that'd be super helpful if you could do that. I really appreciate it. So I hope you found this video helpful. If so, I would love it if you could give us a thumbs up down below. And on this channel, we help you make more money, save more money, and give generously. So if that's something that interests you, you can hit that subscribe button so you can hear from us as we create more content like that. And that's all we have for today. So have a great rest of your day and enjoy your budgeting spreadsheet.